we going? Ah, yes, we are. Oh, hold on, one sec. My bad. My bad, Jeff. My bad. Like, if that will go ahead and connect. Ah, there we go. So, first of all, stream name, not correct. So this actually live stream, my friend is interesting. This is actually gonna be a gaming live stream. Not a gaming live stream, a coding live stream. Basically, if you have not watched the devlog video I had planned, first of all, go on my channel. I don't have it in the description of the stream. Actually, yeah. Make it easy on you guys. Let me do this. Also, how's my latency looking? Ultra low latency. Okay. That's the best I can. That is the best I can do. Let me go to my. Yeah, let me go ahead and get for you guys. Oh. Hmm. Where is it? Well then, guys. There. Check the description. That will have the link to the previous video. So if you want to go ahead and watch that, you can. And then join us on back here. So first of all, this first devlog is mostly gonna be me learning Unity. But until then, actually, while I wait for everyone to come on to the stream, I'm actually gonna go ahead and go to the bathroom real quick, and I'll come back, and I'll let everyone come on to the stream that have not come on. So, guys, get comfy, and I'll be back in just. I'll actually see you just post the video. I'll be back in just a second, guys. Let me go ahead and do that real quick. Alrighty, I am back. God, went to the bathroom, so I'm all ready for today. So, let's go ahead and open up a Unity. Also, if you can tell, if you haven't seen my other videos and you don't know or you don't know yet, I actually switched from 10 to 11 for Windows. So yeah, technically it's cheated. I do not have a good enough TPM, but what we use to flash a hard drive to put the OS on here, there's a little option that says deactivate the requirement for TPM or 4 gigs of RAM. We just take that off or take that on, so we don't need it. Let's go ahead and open up Unity. And also I can actually do this because I have a 30. If you don't know, I got a 3050 graphics card. This is a server. My computer is a server. Actually, here, let me go ahead and do. Much better, guys. Alrighty. I got main monitor, aka the screen that you guys can see. It's going to be Unity and all that. I'm gonna have on my. Well, can I do? I want to see real quick. Alright, I cannot do that. So I'm actually gonna go ahead and have. I'm gonna be going through a Unity tutorial, and then you guys can give me tips and all on the way. So let's go on Unity. Whoop. Here we are. Much better, much better. Alrighty. I'm actually gonna be doing the, the junior pathway. This basically gets you from knowing nothing to be able to make a game. Make any game your heart desires. Of course, with a little help of, like, Reddit and all that. Anywho, we're gonna start this. You're not gonna be able to see what I'm doing, but other than Unity. Now, I'm not technically gonna be starting from. I'm not gonna be starting from scratch, but you're gonna be seeing most of it. So let's open up. Hop setup. Oh, I thought I set it up. Okay. Patient. Patient. I actually may have to restart. Oh, crap. None of the things on here that I can think of have any importance. If I had like a game that I completed, then I would be a little bit sad, but. Alrighty. Was I I'm signing? Alrighty. Actually, I don't even have to reinstall the editor. I had the editor was on my second SSD. That finally didn't get corrupted. This is also long-term support too, because I'm only the editors I'm using. If they give an editor, I'm only gonna be upgrading to that editor if it's gonna include long-term support, because I want that support option. Whatever, but if they ever like upgrade, whenever they upgrade to have a new one come out, I will upgrade my project to that. Older projects, maybe. I may not. I'm probably gonna in the future like get a terabyte SSD and have that for all my Unity stuff. I actually want to buy another SSD for just a terabyte SSD. That's all for Steam because if you want a chunky Steam library, you need a chunky hard drive. Not a hard drive, SSD. Never, under any circumstance, use a hard drive instead of an SSD for Steam. Good rule of thumb, like videos and all on like data that is like you put them on there and but it's like a backup or something. Hard drive, good long term storage, not fast. Hard SSDs on the other hand are meant to be accessed like for games and all that. They're meant to be accessed 24/7. But quick rule from hard drives are for long term storage, not support. SSDs are good for like fast data, so like games and all that. Anywho, get straight on into this. Let's make a so. Actually, ah, let's actually do boop. There we go. So actually, all this can come back on over here. We go on the live stream. Bada bing, a bada boom. So here's all the mission content. This is gonna be like, oh, this is gonna be like a couple streams, like free, to get just the part 1 out of 4 done. This is the junior programming thing. Anywho. Also, since this is a live stream and not a video, I will actually be reading this stuff. So this is the junior programming create with code 1. This is create with code 1 and like 2. Like some, actually I think it's all creative code and some other stuff. Basically, I will actually be reading this. My dad may come down here soon and then I'll have to be quieter. First mission, junior pathway provide cool fundamentals needed to create a wide variety of games in UD. Fundamental programming, variables, functions, basic logic. Okay, for two projects. Know how to modify scripts to customize a simple Unity game. And the beginning of a portfolio. Portfolio in video games is like all the stuff you make, basically. And key details. Take approximately 14 hours to complete, but you take it at your own pace and get XP along the way. And then you can connect to the Unity community to learn more. Check live for calendar for following practical sessions. Ooh. Establish creators for Unity. That'll probably be one of me. I'll probably be one of them. When you finish mission, you get a mission badge for your profile and portfolio. I don't know to start the mission, but mission assignment. Mission briefing. What's this? Quiet it down. Also, if you have to like, you may watch as well.
My first Hello World experience.
Oh, that's right. This is simply. I saw it. It's all it is people saying the first thing they made in Unity and like how they started. Nothing important. Also, if you are wondering, I actually want to learn when I get better at editing and better at coding. I want to do game jams. I've always wanted to enter in a game jam, make a game. It sounds really fun, and it's something right up my alley because I love programming. Like, if I know the material, I love the script. Let's see here. Project management and teamwork. Project management, teamwork. I give a thumbs down for teamwork because I am alone basically, I believe I'm gonna be alone. I don't think the only help I'm gonna get is people like going on Reddit and search and or like going in Google and like how to fix this error or like how to do this. I'm gonna be a lone wolf basically. I'm trying to do as little Reddit help as possible unless it's something that's like near impossible. But project management, yes. I'm also gonna be using, if you don't know, for coding, I'm gonna be using Trello. And I'm gonna be using, if I can find it. No, I'm just yawning. Hmm? Hmm? And sorry about that glitch. Uh, sorry, I'm just trying to see if I can find. Oh, I'm trying to think whatever that was called. Game. Let's see here. Log in to Trello. Ah, so I have Trello. I actually have two accounts on Trello. My personal to-do list and another one I call it Noah Co, which is coding in general. I actually had an idea for a backrooms game. Probably not gonna end up doing that. Make a new board. Let's make a new board for this. So the board title is gonna be called Log. T-wise. Like Tycoon. Create. Simp. Take a look here. Like a brown, I guess. Yeah, fine. I like that better. Alright, so first of all, we're gonna do, task-wise, we're gonna do simple tasks with an S. Me medium tasks and hard tasks. And maybe in tasks that maybe in the future. Also, just so you can see. And then working on and completed. And yeah, how about this one? Oh yeah, this is the first idea for game, tower defense. Actually, if you want to see, I actually spent a lot of time on this board. As you can tell, I set up a lot of stuff. So, may actually come back to this, because that would be This would be awesome. This would be a great game. But that's future. And you have to go back to Log Tycoon. So simple tasks. Actually working on learning. Simple tasks. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think the best idea would be like Minecraft. First person. Movement. Something I'm not excited for is I want to do like the maps. I want to have them randomly generated. And at the start, I may just do. I'm either thinking between a randomly generated map or a pre-made map, a handmade map. If I do randomly generated, oh, oh boy, that will be a pain in the rumpus times a million. I am not excited for that. Like, computer made maps. Okay. And then I'm working on learning. And chat guys, let me know some tasks. Also, I'm still trying to find like the. Where is it? That's Trello. Websites. You know what? I think I know what I have to do. Oh wait, I just realized. I'm being a dummy. Today I finally of the game Millinote. Millinote, there it is. Hallelujah. Boom. So this is down like down good. This is perfect. This is like stuff down like stuff. And then much better. Alright, so boom and boom. Perfection. So let's go ahead and start. Getting started. Wait. Oh, so this actually is simply installing Unity. Skip. That is a skip because that is all it is installing Unity. That's all it is. So this is player control. You program a car to move side to side on a floating road. How to avoid obstacles. Be familiar with the editor and the workflow, and you know how to create C# scripts and simple programming. Okay, so I'm using 2021. Is there no 2020? I say screw it. It's fine. It's fine. Unit 1 introduction. Oh, 2021. 2021. Yeah, you guys can hear as well.
Welcome to the very first unit of this course, where you will begin your journey creating with code.
It's very loud.
In this unit, we will create a driving simulator prototype where the user can steer a vehicle down a road to avoid obstacles in its path, or crash into them if that's more their liking. As you create this prototype, you will learn the programming fundamentals to implement player control. That is giving the player the ability to control an object in the world you've created.
Very simple.
This, you'll have to take some input from the player. Maybe they're pressing the arrow keys, using...
Okay. Perfect.
...the mouse or a joystick, and translate
that's
that
perfect.
into some
he has to
action
go and do
in
some
the
stuff,
3D
so that's
environment.
fine.
I probably don't have to explain to you how important player control is. Pretty much every game or interactive experience ever made.
Okay, hold on. Let me go see what. Hold on. Alrighty, guys. I am back. Sorry about that. Dad had to go to the store. Just check him if you need me. Alright.
The player control over something in the environment. Otherwise, the
Water.
player wouldn't have much to do. So whether you're floating a balloon up and down in the air from a side view, moving a character side to side from a top-down view, or rolling a ball around from a third-person view, all of these draw on the same foundational programming techniques. So you'll be able to take this element of player control and apply it to your own projects in all kinds of interesting ways. So let's start creating.
Alright. What I found. Next. Alrighty. And then it'll be created first project. Sufficient. Alrighty. Prototype 1 starter files. I need that downloaded. Is that what it is? Yes. Perfect.
let's get started creating our very first Unity project. Now remember to watch me before you do this yourself. Now up first, just for some organization, I'm going to create a new folder on my desktop where I'm going to be saving my Create with Code project. So if I right click on the desktop, I'm going to select New and create a new folder. Then I'm going to rename this folder Create with Code Carl D. That way I know that this is where all my projects are going to go. So if I press Enter, now I have a folder on my desktop where I'm going to be saving all of my Create with Code projects. The next thing I'm going to do is create a new empty project called Prototype 1 on the correct version of Unity through Unity Hub. However, since Unity Hub is changing all the time, we want to make sure you have the most up-to-date instructions. So I'm not going to demonstrate that in the video. Instead, I want you to very carefully follow the instructions below to create your project. So just make sure when this video is over, you follow the instructions below the video to make your project. I'm just going to skip forward when the project is already made. And here you can see my new Unity project for Prototype 1. And you can see here the Unity interface. Now, if this is your first time seeing it, it may be a little intimidating with all of the different windows and buttons. But don't worry, we'll go through it in detail very soon. So for now, this is where I'll stop and let you create your own Unity project. Make sure to follow the steps below to create a folder to save all of your Unity projects, and then create your very first Unity project through Unity Hub.
We've got our first set of instructions. So, also some of you may follow along, you may. So, first of all, let me check. Right here on my side, let me check real quick, because I actually missed you have this. Oh. So I do actually have the folder. I had the Creative Code folder. I'm just gonna go ahead and delete that from my fiction. Alright, I'm gonna go ahead and make a new folder then in desktop. Wait, I'm saying, yeah, desktop. New folder. Alrighty. On desktop or somewhere else, right click new folder and call it Create Code complete. Create new Unity project using the 3D template. Use one of the supported versions. I'm using what, 2021? Yeah. I need to go ahead and oh, 3D. And name the project prototype. Prototype base 1, and then we're gonna it's gonna be a bit hard to do this because they have like stuff and all. They have like personal stuff and all. fine. Also, we're gonna be here for a while, guys, so just keep that in mind. Love you. Sorry it's taking forever, guys. This is how its Unity is with projects. Hope you guys are having a good day, though. I don't know how long I'm gonna be streaming. Probably for a while because it's not a video; it's a live stream. It's gonna be a little bit harder for the coding and all because I can't. You guys can't see my folder and all that because that obviously it's yeah, it's very obvious. I obviously cannot do that. Technically, no one's gonna watch this stream, and I'd be shocked if someone did. But still, though, want to be on the safe side. Not get my data compromised. I mean, technically, most people, actually, most people, they can show you the folder. None of my folders will have the an IP, so it's fine. Unity's done. Actually, no, that's fine, because the only thing you're gonna see, really, is my name. And 99% of my viewers already know my name. If you don't know, it's Noah Clark. So, it's fine. Because actually... Yeah, now. You're not gonna be able to, like, see an IP or something. Here we are, and then there we go. Complete. Incomplete. There we go. Select create, and then you need to open project. Alrighty, so first step done. Out of many. Oh, that felt crunchy. That felt suspiciously crunchy. What broke? The port on my phone, I chucked it in really fast. And it sounded crunchy, so I'm just making sure I didn't break the port. Alrighty. Number 2. Now I need to import asset.
Now that we've created our first Unity project, let's start getting our scene set up by importing the project library. Now remember, watch me before you do this yourself. In order to download our project files to get started, we'll need to use the download link in the instructions below this video. If I click on that link, it will download a zip of the starter files right onto my computer. So let's see where I saved those files. On my desktop, where I created that new Create with Code folder for my projects, you can see here I've already downloaded the project library for Prototype 1. So all I need to do is extract this folder to get the assets I'm going to use for my project. So I'm just going to right click on Prototype 1, extract all, and then it's going to select a location, which in this case is the folder that I'm already working in. So I'm going to extract, and you can see that it extracted pretty quickly. And if I go into this new Prototype 1 direct download folder, you can see here that I
he's
have
showing
Prototype
everything.
1 starter files, and it's of type Unity package file. So this is what I'm going to use to import into my project to get set up. If I head into Unity, I'm going to go to the Assets button on my menu, go to Import Package, and then Custom Package. Now I need to find that Unity package file that I just extracted. So I'm going to go to that Create with Code folder on my desktop, go down into the Prototype 1 Direct Download folder, and find the Prototype 1 starter files, select it, and open it. You can see that Unity prompts you with a new window asking you if you want to import all of these different files, and we're going to need all of these for our project, so I'm going to import at the bottom of the window. Now let me show you what Unity just did. So if I get started in Unity, down in the project window down here, you can see that there's an assets folder that has a course library folder and a scenes folder. So the course library folder is what was just added into our project. And if I click into this folder, you can see that there are some additional folders for some of the props and objects that are going to be in our scene when we get started. So for example, I could go to the obstacles folder, and you can see here a list of different obstacles. You can actually use this little slider at the bottom of the project window if you want to actually see what the models of those objects look like. So now you can see we have all these different props that we can use in our scene, like a rock or a barrier or a traffic cone. Now I'm going to show you what this actually looks like inside of Unity. So if I go back to my assets folder by selecting it on the left hand side of the project window, I'm going to go into the scenes folder, and inside of my scenes folder I have a sample scene, which is actually what's currently open right now, which has nothing inside of it. Or I can open up this prototype 1 scene by double clicking on it. And now inside of this prototype 1 scene, you can see that it pops up inside of this scene window here in the center of Unity. And if I just use my mouse while it's hovering over this scene window, right click and hold, I can actually move the camera that's in the scene view to see around this virtual world that we've created for you. So you can see here we have this long road. We have some of those mountains in the background. We have a pretty cool sky with stars in it. And so this will be the scene that we'll start building our first Unity project in. Now, since this will be our main scene, we actually don't need this sample scene anymore. So I'm just going to right click on sample scene and then delete it. And delete the selected asset. So now the only thing that's in my Unity project is that prototype 1 scene. So what you're going to do is download the starter files for the project by using the link in the instructions below this video. And then you're going to extract that zipped folder that we gave you. And you can double check to make sure that inside of that folder are the prototype 1 starter files. Once you've unzipped those starter files, you're going to head back into Unity, go to the Assets button in the top menu, go to Import Package, and import a custom package. From there, you're going to find the folder where you extracted those starter files. So in my case, on my Create with Code Carl D folder on my desktop. And you're going to find the Prototype 1 starter files Unity package file. So you're going to select it and then open it. You'll then be prompted with an import window. So in my case, since I already imported these assets, I don't have to worry about it, but you'll see a long list of different files. And at the bottom right of the window, you're going to click import. And that might take a few minutes. Once you've done that, you can head over to the project window down in the bottom of Unity, select the assets folder and go into your scenes folder. You're going to double click on prototype 1 to open it inside of your project. And then you can just right click and delete the sample scene because we won't be using it. And then if you want to explore the virtual world that we've created, you can just hover your mouse over the scene view here, right click and hold the right mouse button, and then you can move your mouse to move your camera in this virtual world. So now it's your turn.
Oops, sorry. Alrighty, well you heard him there, folks. So first of all, I need to download and extract all. I have to go ahead and downloads. I honestly don't care that you saw that. Doesn't show on like an IP or anything, so I don't care. I'm going to edit. There's all the stuff and import. That took a couple minutes, that took like 2 seconds. Alrighty. So let's go to scenes first, open up this. Alrighty, good. Click. So if you wonder what I did there, on my mouse, this is a Razer mouse by the way, I have click on the middle of my scroll wheel. I actually, for editor, I have, you click it, it deletes. And then actually, for the side buttons, these right here, copy, paste, or the other way around. Yeah, it's like copy and paste. Yeah. Yeah, copy and paste. Alright. Fix my glasses. Oh, yeah, we're all done now. We're all done. So I actually, I'm not a big fan of this. I do not have enough room with this, so you guys sadly will not be able to see this. Well, I'll open this up fully, and then I'm not the biggest fan of this configuration. I actually do a different configuration. The 2x3. I do 2. I have a like a version of 2x3. It's 2x3, but project and hierarchy I'll have tied together, and then push those to the side. Also, I personally can like have doing that scene and game in one. And my project folder will keep them there. Yeah, that's fine. Alrighty, do this. Dun dun dun. Next. Now we need to add in a vehicle. You guys all doing good?
So now that we've added in the starter assets for our project, we're gonna go and add a vehicle into our scene. Make sure to watch me do this before you try it yourself. And just as a heads up, from here on out in these videos, I'll be using an older version of Unity. As you can see, the icons look slightly different, but otherwise everything is gonna work pretty much the same. What I'm gonna do is in the main section of our project window, I'm going to double click on vehicles. And that'll open up that folder, and that'll show us all of the different vehicles that we can use in our scene. I like the red truck over here. I think it looks really cool. So I'm going to left click on that vehicle, drag it into our hierarchy on the left side of Unity. When I let go, you can see that our vehicle has now been added into this large area in the center called our scene view. So all of our assets in our assets folder are what we use to populate our scene with different objects like our trucks. If we wanted to add some cool environmental props, maybe some boxes or trees, mountains, whatever we want to add, that's all stored in our assets folders, and then we can drag and drop them into our hierarchy to add them to our scene. Now the hierarchy actually keeps track of all the different objects that are currently there. So we have our camera, we have a light, we have some environment, and then we have our vehicle that we just added. Now to really see our vehicle and experience the scene view that allows us to visualize everything that's happening in our game, what you can do is hover over the scene view with your mouse. If you hold the right mouse button, right click,
And then you can actually move using the W, A, S, and D keys on your keyboard. So if I press W, I can zoom
Also
in.
known as
If I
WASD.
press S, I actually fly backwards. If I press A, I fly to the left. If I press D, I fly to the right. So you can use all of these in tandem, and you can actually move your mouse while you're flying around. So you can see all around your scene. Now, I have a problem here. I've gotten myself lost. I actually don't know where I am. I can see these nice mountains, though. So, in your hierarchy, if you make sure that your vehicle, your truck is selected, you can see it's highlighted in blue, so you know it's selected. If you want to make sure, on the right side of Unity, you can see in your inspector, this actually shows you what the current object is selected, which is our truck. With my mouse now hovering over our scene view, if I press the F key on our keyboard, this will actually focus or frame back in our object that we have selected in our hierarchy. So that's super helpful. Another thing that we can do if we just want to get a 360-degree view, if we want to see all around this truck, we can actually hold down the Alt key on our keyboard. And then with our left click, if we drag to the left or to the right, we can actually rotate around.
Bring it out my little.
And what this is
my
actually
little
doing is
foot
it's
stand on the
rotating
chair.
around the center point of our screen, which in this case is our vehicle, because we used our F key to focus on it. So now we can see all around our truck. And then another helpful thing that we can do is if we press the Alt key down and hold it again, we can actually use our right mouse button. And if we click and drag that, if we go to the left, we actually zoom out. And if we go to the right, we can actually zoom in. So, using all of these different keys, we can navigate around our scene, focus on different objects, and take a look at them in depth. A really helpful keyboard shortcut to know is the undo action. So, for example, with my vehicle selected, if I accidentally moved that vehicle when I was just trying to navigate around the scene, I can press Ctrl-Z or Command-Z, and that will undo my most recent action. This is super helpful to know just in case you ever accidentally move something, or say you adjust something and you don't like the way that it's positioned in your world, you can just undo that to set it back. One thing to note is undo will only undo our most recent action. So, in order to get this vehicle back to where it started, since I actually changed this object 3 different times, I have to use Ctrl-Z or Command-Z 1, 2, 3 times, and it will set it backwards. So, it's very helpful to remember the undo shortcut on your keyboard. So that way, in case you ever accidentally move something or you just don't like the way that something's positioned, you can just reset it back to what it was before. So what you're going to do is you're going to grab one of your vehicles out of the course library, whichever one you want, left click and drag it into the hierarchy. And then when your vehicle is added to the scene, get used to playing around with all of the different ways that you can navigate your scene view. With your mouse cursor hovering over the scene view, if you hold right click down, you can move your camera around as you move your cursor. If you use the different keys like W, A, S, and D, learn how to move around in the world. Make sure you get some practice in also focusing on your object in case you either get lost or you want a better view. So go into your hierarchy on the left, select your vehicle. With your cursor over the scene view, press the F key on your keyboard so that you can frame or focus in on that object. Play around with rotating around the object, so you can press the Alt key, hold it down, and then press and hold your left click on your mouse, and you can rotate it around your vehicle while it's centered in your scene. And then you can even get some practice in pressing and holding the Alt key, clicking and holding your right mouse button, and then dragging it to the left to zoom out or dragging it to the right to zoom in. So get very comfortable with moving and navigating around your scene, focusing around your vehicle, rotating around it, zooming in and out to get a closer look of it. These are very important things to know to navigate your scene. So the easier it will be to move around your scene and get comfortable with seeing all of your different objects and where they're placed, the easier it will be as you make your game. So go play around with the different navigation keys, and now it's your turn.
Back to it. Now we actually have to do some more work. Alrighty. First things first. What does it say? Open the asset course library and drag in the vehicle from the hierarchy. Yes, it is. That's it. And then of course it's like with F and all that, but it's like that's all controls. Just the skybox. Sorry that I gave everyone a headache. Alrighty, and done. The whole video was off of that. Next.
We've added a vehicle to our scene. Now the next thing that we need to add is an obstacle. So we're going to choose one and place it in front of the player.
So what I'm actually
Make
gonna
sure
go
to
ahead
watch
and do
me
is
before you do this
watch
yourself.
this,
Now, down in
do
our
this,
project window, where
half
we got our
snap,
vehicles,
and then I'll come
we're
back.
going to make
and
sure
then
that we go to the
I'll resume
sidebar,
stream.
select our course library so that we can see all of the other folders inside of our course library. And then we're going to go to the obstacles folder and double click. And you can see here we have all of these different options that we can select from. I'm going to choose this crate because our truck actually has some boxes on it, so it looks kind of similar. So this time I'm going to left click and drag our crate, but instead of going into the hierarchy, I'm going to drag it directly into our scene view, and you can see that it's actually updating live wherever my mouse is positioned. And in fact, if I drag it closer to the road, it actually snaps directly onto the road. I can even do it with the car. Look, there's a box on the car. So I'm going to release my mouse button now, and you can see our box has been positioned in our scene. Now, in Unity, we actually have coordinates to keep track of where our objects are in the world. So, for example, our truck is actually in the center, the exact center of this virtual world we've created. At 0, 0, 0, you can see that by going and clicking on the truck, make sure it's selected. On the right side of Unity, you can see the inspector window pop up, and it expands. Underneath the inspector, at the very top of all of the different options, there's our transform. These are called components. So our transform component specifically carries the data around our position, our rotation, and our scale. The rotation and scale we'll get to in a little bit. With our position, you can see that it's set to 0, 0, 0. If I compare that to our crate, by selecting our crate, you can see that the crate information is now in our inspector. Our crate is positioned at 4.8, negative 0.0 on the Y, and then 4.26 on the Z. Handily, you can actually tell all of these different letters from these arrows over here on our box. So, currently we have our move tool selected. You can actually see which tools we currently have selected in the top left. We'll go through some of the other ones in a bit. With our move tool, you can see the up arrow. So in fact, if I left click and drag on this green arrow, you can see over on the right side in our inspector, the Y position changes. If I want to undo what I just did, I can use Control or Command Z. You can do the same thing with the X, which in this case is this red arrow. And I'll undo that with Control or Command Z. And with the blue arrow, this is RZ. So I'll undo that. So I'm going to reposition this crate, and I can do this one of two ways. I can either do it by going to the inspector on the right underneath our transform. If I actually select the box, you can see that all of the text is now highlighted. I can actually type in 0. And if I type in 0, you can see that now our box is moved all the way in front of our vehicle. Now, if I were to set all of these to 0, that would take a really long time, and I don't want to do that. So in our transform, you can actually see all the way on the right side of our component, there's this little gear icon.
If you're using a new
That
version of
does not
Unity,
take long
it will
to
actually
zero.
be 3
You
little
highlight the
dots
whole
instead of
thing.
a gear.
You click
So
on
if
it,
I
and
left
if it's,
click on the
you
gear
double click on
icon,
it, 0.
you can
Double click
see
on it, 0.
that there are different options, and one of the options is
dumb.
reset position. So if I left click that, now our positions are set to 0, 0, 0. And so now what I can do is, if I want to move our box, now that everything's at 0, now I'm going to do this the easy way, where I can just type in the values in our inspector. So I want this to be a good distance away, and it would be a lot of work to just drag it with our move tool. So instead, I'm just going to go into the inspector on the right side. In our transform position, I'm going to select the Z text. If I click on it, you can see that now it highlights that text, and I can just type in 25. And it automatically moves my box 25 units away on the Z. And a handy thing to know in Unity is that each individual unit, so if I had a Z of 1, that would actually just be 1 meter. So we actually moved this box 25 meters on the Z position, which moved it in front of our vehicle. Last but not least, I'm going to do some cleanup on my different objects. So my crate, I'm going to rename. So my crate, what I'm going to do is in the hierarchy on the left side, if I right click on the crate, I can rename. There's a rename option. I left click that. Now I can type in anything I want. So I'll call this an obstacle for now. And then with our truck or vehicle, if you select the vehicle in the hierarchy, you can actually rename this through the inspector on the right side. If you see at the top, you have the same name that's in the hierarchy on the left. So if I actually click on that text, it highlights all of it. If I type in vehicle and I press enter, now you see in our hierarchy, our truck has been renamed vehicle. So different ways that you can rename your objects. So what you're going to do is in your project window, select the course library, double click on the obstacles folder, left click and drag one of your obstacles into the scene. And then when your obstacle is in the scene, if you select it in your hierarchy by clicking on it, on the right side, you can see all of the information in the inspector about the obstacle's components. Rename
Okay, so
your
personally,
obstacle,
I love code.
and then you're going
This
to
is
go
very
to the transform
boring. This
component.
is like a school video at
Underneath
times.
that section,
I know it's
you're
supposed to be
going to go all
helpful,
the way
but
to
it's
the
like,
right,
it's
there's this
teaching me
little gear
stuff I already
icon.
know.
left click,
Where's the
reset
script,
position,
dude? Where's
it's
the
back at
meat?
0,
Where's the
0,
meat?
0,
I want
right
meat.
where our vehicle is. And then once you've done that, you can go and select the position Z, click on it, and then you can type
It's gonna
in
be like
whatever number that you
emotional
want,
damage.
and it'll move that obstacle in the Z direction. And then what you're going to do is you're then going to select your vehicle, and you're going to rename the vehicle that you have selected to just be called vehicle. Now it's your turn.
Finally. Wait, was that like 7 minutes? That does not feel like. Alrighty. So first things first. course, library, obstacles, and a dragon obstacle there's I'm gonna create. And then, yeah, reset. And then we need to change this to 25. That's all the way over there. And then we can rename this as OBSTACLE obstacle. Alright, so guys, this stream's been going on for an hour. Bear with me. Give me like 15 minutes. I'm gonna get snack and take like a quick break and get snack and all of that. And I'll be right back and then we're gonna continue. That'll be stream number 2. Hope you guys have a good day. Give me like an hour, like a max an hour, and then I'll be back for stream number 2. So I'll see you guys in a little bit.